Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ohio State Primetime Live here at Ohio State, the voice of college football. And as always, on a Monday at 7 p.m., I am your host, Garrison Gaddy. Well, a lot to talk about today, everybody. Of course, we all saw the final CFP rankings that came out. The bracket came out, also including the bowl games, all that we will be talking about. Also want to talk about some things that Ryan Day said in his press conference yesterday. Some things about Ryan Day, some things about not Ryan Day, but some things about Brian Hartline, the team. Also going to get to my favorite picks for these bowl games and what I believe Ohio State needs to fix going into the playoffs. Before we go through all that, please be sure to like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Check out our website at www.bocfb.com where you can check out all the latest news from our awesome writers that keep you up to date what's going on around college football and the landscape. Before we continue, everybody, and get to everything I just talked about, I am a man of my word. And I am a man that I pay my bets and I pay my debts. Before the game last week against Indiana in the Big Ten Championship, I made a bet with Trent McGee, who's an Indiana fan. And him and his co-host, they went pretty viral last week, actually, with some of the comments they said about Ohio State that were asinine and crazy. But last week, I on X, I messaged him. Well, not messaged him, but I put it out there. I said, gentlemen's bet, Buckeyes win. You post yourself singing Ohio State by a song. You win, I'll do the same. And so with that being said, everybody, all right. This is Indiana, our Indiana. Indiana, our Indiana. Indiana, all for you. We will fight for cream and crimson for the glory of old IU. Never dawn till we cannot falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, our Indiana, Indiana, we're all for you. All right. All right. That was for you. That was disgusting to do. But I'm glad we got that over with. Now let's get to the real stuff. Let's get to what matters, everybody. Also, I do want to congratulate again the Indiana Hoosiers for winning the Big Ten Championship. Take nothing from you guys. We could talk about all the ins and outs, all the nuances, the context of the game. At the end of the day, you guys won that. You have every reason to be proud of your team last week. So, yeah, again, congratulations to you guys. Let's see. How about this? Let's start with the college football playoff here, everybody. Of course, I have a few things to talk about here because I think that first, I think Kirkwood and Dunn, that was awesome. Let's go. That's crazy, man. I'm gonna be honest. I actually hate I had to do that, but yeah, let's start here, everybody. Let's get the show running. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that hype button. It does a lot for the network here. It does a lot for the channel. Help us get to the algorithm and let everyone else join the community, see what we do here at the Voice of College Football. So, in the CFP, everybody, we all saw the final rankings. Of course, we have 1 Indiana, 2 Ohio State, 3 Georgia, 4 Texas Tech, 5 Oregon, 6 Ole Miss, 7 Texas A&M, 8 OU, 9 Bama, 10 Miami, 11 Tulane, and 12 James Madison. First off, let's start with the whole James Madison and Tulane thing here. I still hold firm in the fact that I don't believe those group of 4, group 5 teams should be in the playoff. They're not. They are not up to par. If you look at the lines right now, I think Tulane is a 17.5 point underdog to Ole Miss, who sandblasted them earlier in the season already. And then Oregon is a 21 point favorite against James Madison. Look, man, if the point of the playoff is to get the best teams in there. I believe they should be doing that. So I do think that needs to be changed. Of course, next year, which I had no idea about this with Notre Dame, if they are ranked in the top 12, they get an automatic bid. That's insane. And we're going to talk about Notre Dame quickly for a little bit here, but that's wild. If in my opinion, if I was asked to like give you the top 12 teams, I would tell you Texas should be in there. Of course, you have that bad loss to Florida. I mean, Alabama has a bad loss to Florida State. And mind you, I think Texas has more current ranked wins than Alabama. So that's that. I thought that was a terrible showing by Alabama. And are they one of the top 12 teams in the nation? Yeah. But, I mean, based off what happened in that game and how everything is formatted, I don't know if they should have been in. I really don't. I think Notre Dame would beat them. Notre Dame and Miami. What was the point of having Notre Dame and having Miami having them ahead of Miami for a whole month, just at the last second in the final hour to flip it around? That really made no sense to me, and there's no way that the committee commissioner could justify it to me. I don't think you could to anybody. Now, with that being said, Notre Dame choosing not to play their bowl game is soft. It sets a bad and it's not just them. There's Rutgers. There's Temple. You are setting a bad precedent in this sport. You got to go out there and play those games, man. And I understand the anger of the administration. I actually do understand. Some people are saying like they're kind of bitching and moaning about the ACC. I think that Notre Dame has every right to be upset with the ACC right now, because the truth of the matter is, if they were in that conference, they'd be their biggest program, their most lucrative program when it comes to revenue. I think there's 24. I think he said the AD said other teams they have other 20, something like that, 20 plus. So yeah, man, I get it. But at the end of the day, if you're Notre Dame, you had 2 games that you had to win on your schedule, and you lost both of those. So look, it is what it is, man. Can't do anything about it now. But yeah, man. Now, again, I think this is all fine. I think that due to what it is and what the playoffs is right now, I have no quarrels about it. So let's start with the matchups here. First, we have number 5 Oregon versus JMU again, and that's gonna be a blowout. That's at Oregon. No need to talk about that. Whoever wins this game goes on to play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. Number 4 Texas Tech. Then, of course, number 9 Bama versus OU. I'm not sure who I really like in this game, but I would lean Alabama. Alabama, I trust them to score more than OU. That's going to be a very ugly game to watch, because both teams are one-dimensional. Both teams have good defenses. But yeah, that's not going to be fun to watch. But whoever wins that game goes to the Rose Bowl to face number 1 IU. Next, number 6 Ole Miss home against number 11 Tulane. No need to break that down at all. They go on. Ole Miss more than likely is going to go on to play number 3 Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and then which I is definitely the more intriguing of the first round matchups. Number 10 Miami going to Kyle Field to face the Aggies of Texas A&M. In order to go against the number 2 Buckeyes, our number 2 Buckeyes in the Cotton Bowl. The second year in a row now Ohio State will be playing there. First off, I mean, if you listen to me on here, if you follow me on X, everybody knows I'm no fan of Texas A&M. I don't like calling teams fraudulent who are undefeated, but that defense is god awful. And so that's that. But Miami, I want them to win. Now, some people, shout out to my guy Shy. He thinks that's the easier matchup, so that's what he wants. That is not what I need right now. I want Miami, because if Miami and Ohio State play, that is going to be one of the more fun but more toxic days on social media, especially on X. If all us Buckeyes know, there is a hate. Let's not say hate. We don't like each other. Miami doesn't like us, mostly because we destroyed their program, and in that we like holding them down there, and it's fun. I love talking crap about Miami. I love talking crap about the fact they have no fans and they can't fill out a stadium and that they depend on other big programs to do that for them. I love it. I love the fact that Miami still, since leaving the Big East and going to the ACC, Miami still hasn't won it. Mind you, Duke did it before they did with the coach that they fired. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But no, but I think that it's gonna be a fun matchup though. Right now, at first I think I said I think Miami would win this game because Texas A&M's defense is so bad. But at the same time, Miami's defense isn't all the greatest. They have more talent, of course, on the front. I think just overall on defense they have more talent. But with that being said, I'm more leaning Texas A&M right now, especially with them being home. Also for Texas A&M, they have good news. Marcel Reed has already said that he's coming back next season. But let me know in the chat right now, guys. Like, what do you think? What are your favorite matchups right now on this? Who do you think is going to come out on top in these games? Not really the James Madison, Oregon, or the Tulane Ole Miss game. Come on, guys. There's no reason to talk about those two. Who do you think is going to win the national championship? But yeah, man. No, I'm excited to watch these games. At the end of the day, football is football, and I'm a junkie for it. So. Yeah, again, there's the playoff, guys. Oregon versus JMU, number 9, Bama versus OU, Tulane versus Ole Miss, and Miami versus Texas A&M. Well, everybody, if you didn't know already, you can hit that join button, become a member here at the Voice College Ball. You see our 3 tiers down there. The Block O Club, JT wasn't short because we all know that he wasn't, and we don't give a damn, and you know the rest. By the way, I am still... I'm cloud 9 about beating the Wolverines. I'm still on cloud 9 about that. Can't even lie to you. Before we continue here with the show, let's go to some of the comments. Curry going to be clipping that, Garrison. Hey, I don't blame you, bro. I lost my bet. Can't say anything about it. I had no intentions on singing that song, but here we are. Shout out to Nick Bloomberg. He says Oregon going to make a run. 5 seed is so unbalanced. Yeah, I mean, I think it's unbalanced, honestly, because of the JMU and the Tulanes being in there. But I'm with you. I filled out my bracket already. I have Oregon and Ohio State in the national championship. So, Nick, I'm actually right there with you. Shout out to my guy, Aaron, bro. Good to always see you win here. Ohio State has the hardest path. No surprise. Laugh my ass off. Shake my damn head. Yeah, bro. It's, it's okay. I told you guys before, I'm of the mindset that I can care less about the path. And if I had to pick, I'm taking the hardest path because I want us to, like Ryan Day says, leave no doubt. Just as we did last season. Just as we did. Yeah. So shout out to Natty Time. That's Bugsy. But those Bugsy's mom. Yeah, Bugsy's dad is it's Bugsy. Yeah, Bugsy. But those 2 are competitive. How many of those players got an Alabama, Texas, or Ohio State offer? Probably not a lot. Again, if this was up to me, Texas would be in the college football playoff right now. Texas and Notre Dame would, and I would move those 2 teams out of there. They have no business being in this playoff, and there's no eye test for them, and there's no earned it for them. A group of 5 team cannot earn it to be in these playoffs. I'm sorry, not my eyes, not my eyes. Nick also says if Notre Dame played in the ACC this year, then they're in 100% their fault. Yep, I agree. Jam, hi Garrison, always hi to you, Jam. Always glad to see you, my friend. Shout out to my brother. I am Juju. Says Miami OSU would be an absolute terrible game. It probably would. We would dog walk them. But man, Juju, you know this. What more would Ohio State fans want than to beat Miami, get the payback? And mind you, the last time we played Miami in 2012, they beat us, I believe. Maybe it was that year. Also, but to do that, then go play Georgia, get that get back against them. And in a perfect world, it would be Indiana there, but I have Indiana going or Oregon going. But yeah, everybody. Again, thank you for being in here. Yeah. Block O show. He does his Garrison. Were you on M3 show? Yes, sir. Yeah, that was me, brother. That was me. Yes, it was. And also shout out to Daniel Berry Sports as he always says on a Monday. Happy Monday, hey everyone, and happy Monday to you too, Daniel. So let's move on with the show here again, everybody. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Make sure you hit that hype button. Also, get us in the algorithm. Like, share, subscribe if you like the content that we bring here. Myself, Cleveland Mike, and Mark Rogers. We do. I think we do a great job here. I think we do. But let's get to some of the things that Ryan Day said yesterday, actually. We're gonna stick on two things here. First, he was asked, what was the goal of the team? He said the goal is maximum speed, effort, violence, and peaking at the end of the month, keeping their edge. I like that answer, man, and I honestly I love the violence part of it. Effort shouldn't be a thing. Speed, we know we have it, and of course you want to peak at the right time. But that violence part, man, you need that, and you want guys to keep their edge, as he said. Of course, coming off of this loss, guys are going to be sick, guys are going to be hurt. At the same time, though, and I would say this for any Ohio State fan that's kind of like still down about that loss. Trust me, guys, this game feels no worse than last year's did against the team up north. It feels no worse. So, these guys, they definitely had to pick it up. There's a lot to still play for. The ultimate goal is still there in front of us. And that should be enough for you. That really should. Katie McDonald after the game, I loved how animated he was. I loved it. And he's like just smacking his fist together, his fist in his hand, and just talk about getting better, man, and just focusing in right now. That's what you have to do. And speaking of the word focusing, we're gonna get there soon here. Also, he said we're going to respond like men. Man, I'm gonna be honest. This is a different Ryan Day when you hear him talking now compared to last year. Even last year, the year prior, almost every year he's been here, he's talking with more conviction. And when I hear that, we're going to respond like men, I think the team is going to do that. I also think that on the team, when you have guys like Caleb Downs, Caleb's a young man, but he acts much older than his age. Even after the game, he the interview he took after the game kind of reminded me like of a LeBron James type of like what are you asking me? Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's because he knows what lies ahead. These are familiar waters for the Ohio State Buckeyes right now. Just because, but even though it's a similar type of situation, things are still different. And so, you have guys like Caleb Downs, you have guys like Sonny Styles. These are vets at Ohio State. These are guys that you depend on and lean on to not just do their job, but to also bring the rest of the team along with them. And I definitely believe they're going to do so. I think guys like Luke Montgomery on the offensive side, he's going to be able to do that. Carson Hensman also. Like I truly do believe in this team. After the game, I didn't think any less of us winning the championship. I truly came out of this game the same way I did thinking about the Alabama Georgia game. When Georgia lost to Alabama early in the season, my first thought was, oh, Georgia was better than that team. I believe the same thing for this Ohio State team, and that's not to take anything away from Indiana. That's a damn good team. That's a very good team. That team can win a national championship. I'm not going to say they can't. If you were to ask me right now, who are the few teams I think Ohio State can lose to? It's Georgia, Indiana, Oregon, and I'm on the fringe of Texas Tech because I don't know what they are, but that's also the scary part about them. But what I do know is that there's $7 million on that defensive line, and they have one of the best linebacker units and probably one of the best linebackers in the country. Pass defense is terrible, but still. But yeah. So it's not to take anything away from Indiana. But I still believe Ohio State's the best team in the nation, and it's okay. You can take a loss. You can take a loss in the regular season and still be the best team in the nation. So as last year proved, of course, and as other teams have proved. I mean, Nick Saban talked about that today. You say, I think he said they only have one undefeated national championship. Those other years they lost. And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited for Ryan Day and this team as they're heading into these playoffs. But there are a few things that I do have questions about. And the first thing is this. It's on Brian Hartline. Now, first, let me start off by this. If Brian Hartline can lock in, I have no problem with it. Also, I don't think I'm not gonna make some poor excuse and say that the USF job and him taking the head coaching job is the reason on why this past Saturday happened. This past Saturday happened because Indiana out coached us. That's why, and they made bigger plays than we did. Point blank, period. But I had this discussion with guys earlier because I want to talk about with everyone here. By the way, everybody, if you want to get your comment here, of course, we always accept super chats. I'm gonna try and look at these chats as much as I can in the comments, but it just helps if you want to get your comment up here and I can read it off for you. But I want to read this real quick. This is what Ryan Day had to say about Brian Hartline's situation right now. He said he'll be in talking about Brian Hartline, of course, from Ryan Day. He'll be down there at USF this week some, and then he'll look to get back and look to sort. I'm going to emphasize some words. And then he'll look to get back and look to sorta dive into the game plan with us. He talked about how he always Brian Hartline said he wanted to finish it out. And of course, he played for this program, bled and sweat for this program, cried for this program, won games for this program, won big games with this program as a player and a coach. And I have, as someone who's very big on, trying to finish out what you started, I have no problem with Brian Hartline feeling that way and Ryan Day allowing him to do that. With that being said, Ryan Day also said this: based on how the month goes, we'll see how that plays into the game week. So, I want to ask everybody here that's watching, if you're catching this late, you're in the comments, go ahead and let me know. Do you have any type of worry that when you have a head coach, and a lot of other programs are going through this. This is not to say that no one's going through this. But when you have a coach that is especially looking like has a head coaching job that he's about to start here pretty soon. Or actually already has started. He's down there right now. And you are currently trying to go on a championship run. Would you rather, and I don't want to say fire, but would you rather Ryan Day say, hey, you go down there, work on what you have to do with your program, get that all started. We're gonna have to move on with this. And ain't to say that he don't get a ring. If we were to win a championship and he wasn't there, I would still say he gets a ring. But that does worry me some. And one of the reasons, and I want to be very, very, very consistent here. Last year, and for sure, Juju, go Buffs. But last year, I'm gonna get a jersey, by the way. I'm getting a number 9 Brian Hartline USF Bulls jersey for next season. That's my second team now. But last year, Jim Knowles was trying to negotiate a contract during a playoff run. Of course, none of that came out until after the fact. Had I known that before the playoffs started, that would have pissed me off. Not that it didn't piss me off after the fact. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, Brian Hartline taking the job at USF did not piss me off. I am so happy for him. And he should take that job. It's a smart thing to do. And it's the right thing to do. It really is. But I'm trying to be consistent here, because if I knew that about Jim Knowles last year, I would sit there and tell you that guy's not locked in. Now, the defense played awesome last year, and a lot of that had to do with Ryan Day specifically, and Ryan Day forcing his hand on after the Oregon game early in the season on how the defense should be called. But I'm really, really, really curious about this. I wouldn't say I'm worried yet. But yeah, so yeah, again, let me know what you guys thinking here. Like, do you have some worry about Brian Hartline's mind being somewhere else? Again, I'm not saying here saying it is, but in the grand scheme of things, the USF job for Brian Hartline in all reality is more important than what's going on for Ohio State right now. For the simple fact that, dude, that is your job. You have to go recruit for them. The portal is about to open. You got to go meet the players. There's a lie in there. So no, just want to know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know here in the chat. Does any of that worry you guys? But yeah, and Juju right here. Translation: Day calling plays. I'm gonna read like Juju. I'm gonna read this again because like this is what caught my attention. Based on how the month goes, we'll see how that plays into the game week. He could have easily just said, yeah, Brian Hartline is going to be a part of the play calling. And when he gets back here, he's going to go back into his normal role going into the playoffs. That's not what Ryan Day said. That's not what he said. So, yeah, man, like, so before I even heard that, this already crossed my mind. But, yeah, we'll see. Like, Jam, I worry that Day will not be cocaine Day. No, I'm not worried about that, Jam. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. Ryan, I think Ryan Day knows what's at stake. Jam, we have a national championship head coach. I'm not worried. Not by one inkling. I'd be more worried about if I had a head coach that said that he's keeping people on the staff that fans don't want. Shout out to the Wolverine fans. But yeah, man. Oh man, but yeah. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think in the chat. Again, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel. But before we continue, everybody, quick message here from the voice of college football.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the voice of college football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the voice of college football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
So real quick before we continue, I want to answer this question real quick, and this is from Andrew Woods. And thank you, Andrew. I don't think I've ever seen you here, so appreciate you watching the show tonight. He asked, "Did you think Day was calling some plays Saturday?" Sure. I mean, play calling is a collaborative thing. And listen, man. I know some people think that Brian Hartline's not calling plays. Ryan Day says he's calling plays. I know Dave Biddle said that Ryan Day's calling plays. If Ryan Day says he's calling plays, Ryan Day says Brian Hartline's calling plays. I'm gonna take my coach's word over any fan or beat writer. I love Dave Biddle, but I'm gonna take his word on this. Now, with that being said, Andrew, things that happen at the end of the game, such as going forward, kicking the ball on 4th and 1, or on the previous drive on fourth and a long one, you have 3 tight ends out there. You don't have your 2 best weapons, and you do a QB sneak. My problem there is it doesn't matter if Ryan Day called the play or not. If Brian Hartline called that play, it went through the headset. So you let it happen. So, yeah, no, I believe Brian Hartline calls plays. I think maybe Ryan Day's calling plays here and there. But, yeah, I'm not going to My problem with saying Brian Day is calling plays and Brian Hartline isn't is that then if Brian Hartline does a good job, we're taking credit away from him. If Brian Hartline does a bad job, we aren't able to actually critique him. We can't have it both ways here. People have jobs for a reason, right? So yeah, but in short, yes. I do think Ryan Day maybe called some plays here and there and situationally, but Brian Hartline is the offensive coordinator of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, let's continue here. Big stuff I want to talk about here. This has to do with what Ohio State has to do, because Ohio State's not a perfect football team, and nobody is. And there are a few things here that I want to see Ohio State fix going into the playoffs, things that I believe we need to fix, things I believe we need to switch around. So let me know. Do you guys want me to start with the offensive fixes, or do you want me to start with the defensive fixes? Because I think the defensive fixes are a little bit more important, but I'll say the offensive ones are a little bit more important. But on the defensive side, there's some specific things that I would love to see. Because my goodness, man, there's been some things on tape now for a month. Screw it. We're starting with the defense. There's been some things for the last month that we've been seeing. And maybe some people haven't. Devin Sanchez, he's a start on the outside on the boundary as a boundary corner. I believe so. And that's not Jermaine Matthews, and who's like Jermaine Matthews is my favorite player on the defense. He really is. It's him and Caden Curry. With that being, he's a playmaker. With that being said, I believe he's better at the nickel position and in the slot. And right here, Aaron, that's it right here. Defense gave it up when we needed it most, though. Yes, and more specifically, it wasn't the defense. I would more so because I mean, real quick, because a lot of people are on Lorenzo Styles' head. Lorenzo's also the reason why we picked him off. I think people are forgetting that right now, but we're also going to talk about him soon. But you have to start Devin out there, and this is my reason why. I can deal with a freshman giving up a play like we saw against Indiana, but I can't deal with a junior doing that. Especially like a guy like Maine, who has played in big games. He's played in playoff games. I've seen you lock guys down. So for that to happen over the past month, man, it's not the exception anymore. Now it's the rule. So and Aaron, he's gotten some experience. I mean, Devin Sanchez was on the last drive against Texas when they were trying to go tie or win the game. So and he has been. I mean, he played last week. He played a lot against Indiana. So no, I think we should move him out there, and you live or die with it, and you move Jermaine in the inside. Especially because I think Jermaine can make a lot of plays right there. Now, also with that, I believe in short yardage situations, you take Jermaine out the game, and you put in. Actually, no, I would say in short yardage situations, you keep Jermaine at the boundary, and then you move Lorenzo back in. Lorenzo's a really good tackler. He's very good at tackling, and so that something has to happen though. Either that or something has to click with Maine, and he needs to get things fixed. I see what you said down there, Aaron. Yeah, the guys got to turn their head around. That's the fact. Now I don't know why Walt's not. I know Walt's teaching them this, but they're not doing it. There's no way that OG Walt is not telling them to not turn their head around. There's just no way, because that's hurting your players' development, and it hurts your team. So, yeah. So, my first point, start Sanchez on the boundary, move Maine to the nickel, and then use Styles in short yard situations. Point 2 for the defense. Focus on responsibilities. In that fourth quarter, on one of the biggest plays in the game on third down, And this who I'm about to talk about here has been playing awesome all season. There has not been a flaw in his game, but in high leverage situations, man, you got to know your responsibility. On that third down play in the fourth quarter, Mendoza rolls out to his right, and Caden Curry is all over him. He's not going anywhere. And the tight end or fullback splits out into the flats, right past Arvell's face. That can't happen. Now, and I get it, man. Arvell, he's an aggressive player, and he's been good in pass coverage all season. But it's about situational football, man, and you got to do the right thing. I know he wants that sack. I know he wants to, if not anything, hit the quarterback. My guy, the guy you were supposed to be over caught the first down and kept the drive going. That can't happen. That can't happen. A lot of people want to look at the coaches, like a lot of coaches want to look at that, or I'm sorry, a lot of fans would look at the coaches for what happened in this game, and rightfully so. There were great players on this team who played good to great games, but some of them situationally played poor. And sadly, and I can't even say that Arvell played situationally poor all game, but at that specific play, that was such a huge play. It was a huge play. We had to get that stop right there, and because they were driving, and they were able to. I think they punted on that play, but it pins us back. So yeah, plays like that, man, that can't happen. So again, know your responsibilities, know them. Lorenzo, because we all know this play, but let's talk about it again. When whatever Gus Johnson nicknames him, dude from Tennessee, when he's in the slot and they're clearly about to throw the ball, I think that was a third down too, second along or third down, bro, no one can get behind you. And he went right across your face, made about 8 yards of separation. Good job. You closed the gap in there, but he caught the ball on you. It was actually, by the time the ball got there, Lorenzo was right on him. But you didn't turn your head around. You had no idea where the ball was, but the wide receiver did, and he caught the ball over you. Bada bing, bada boom. They scored. So, yeah, guys, situational football. Situational football. You can't just play good in part during the game in the 12th or in the 8th minute of the second or the 10th minute of the third. Not just on first down. You got situationally, you gotta be awesome. Julian Sand. I'm gonna wait. This is on the defense. Now my third point for us: what things we need to improve on, things we need to do in the playoffs. We got to blitz more. And it's not because it's not because our defensive ends don't get pressure. By the way, we wasted a Caden Curry legacy game and a Sonny Styles legacy game. Those two were playing like a house of fire. But man, I want to see more blitzes, because I think if with the players that we have on our defense, guys like Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, of course, getting off of the defensive line here, even Jermaine is really good at blitzing. Bro, we need to get in the quarterback's head. We need to speed him up. And if you don't do that, be more creative on the defensive line, run some more stunts. But I want to see us pressure the quarterbacks much more than we do with our front four. I mean, outside of our front four. We can do it, but doggone it, Matty P, sometimes you got to blitz, bro. Sometimes you got to blitz. and I think that I think we missed the ball right there. Wait, wait, he just won't hear saying. I don't know what that means. But now let's get to the offense, and I'm going to show everybody this first because I said that I would stop talking about this player because I love Ohio State Buckeyes, but at the same time, man, we gotta be honest here. We gotta be real. Tegra can't play anymore. Can't. He puts the team in jeopardy. He puts Julian Sand in jeopardy. I'm gonna focus in right here so you guys can see it. This is from J Book, and he says PFF grades are already out. Bennett Christian graded out. I can care less about Bennett Christian. Let's get the Tegra. Tegra Chibola graded out 17.6 pass blocking. Carson Hensman with the highest graded offensive lineman at 64.4. Gabe Van Sickle, who subbed in for Tegra, graded out at 86.5 pass blocking. By the way, shout out to Gabe Van Sickle, West Michigan kid like me out of Coopersville. Now, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I said after that game where Gabe Van Sickle started, he needs to be there for the rest of the season before we get to the playoffs. He has to. And for some odd reason, after Gabe Van Sickle plays a great game, Tyler Bowen puts him back. He puts Tegra back out there. He puts a liability back out there. And it bit us in the ass on Saturday. It did. I'm not gonna see how Aaron. I'm not gonna be that negative, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and say the whole O line played terrible. I'm not gonna do that because you can think they're playing terrible. They're playing a top 5 defensive line in the country. It's gonna be competitive in there. It's gonna be very competitive in those trenches. But what can't happen is what happened to Tegra. 7-7 looked like a 2-pack of ass. It was terrible out there, bro. And that one play where Julian on the play action, a play that we've ran all season, where we run the play action, he goes out to his left, turns back around, we go deep, bro. As soon as he turned around, he takes one hit step, and there's a guy blowing past Tegra and lighting Sand's ass up. That can't happen in the playoffs. I'm here to tell you right now, when you play teams like Miami, who has a really good defensive line, and you play teams like Texas A&M, who have a good pass rush, that can't happen. 77 is a liability, and 5'8" should be out there. He's a mark. He's a fish. There's no other way to say it. It's a fact. Like we can sit here and criticize the rest of the offensive line in this game. Bro, Tegra stood out like a sore thumb. He can't be on that field anymore because if he is, he's going to get Julian hurt and he's going to hurt the run game. There's no way to put it. At least Phillip Daniels, man. At least Phillip Daniels, I know, plays nasty and is wrong all the way. If he's wrong, he does it all the way. Tegra just can't do anything about it, bro. Like Luke Montgomery's a big guy too. He's huge. Luke can move. He can move. You know who can't move? 7-7. Big for nothing. No way to put it, bro. And I tried to defend him. I tried to be on the train of, man, you know what? Maybe over the last, in that game against the Wolverines, he turned a corner. No, maybe their defensive line just ain't that. And when he went against a real defensive line, the mark. So that, put Gabe Van Sickle on the field. There's a kid I know that he plays for Grand Valley State. He plays defensive tackle for Grand Valley State. Went to my high school. A good young man. Got to watch him play a lot last year when I went to the South Christian games. Shout out Sailors. And he played against Gabe and Sickle. He said, "Bro, like going against him is hard, man." He said, like he plays nasty. He's really strong. He's huge. Bro, play him. And if he's not ready, at least I know he's not going to play soft. There's no there's no way this season that Tegra is grading out better than Gabe Van Sickle. And when Josh Padilla was healthy, there's no way there's no way he could outgrade him. I can't even believe that he's playing better in practice, going against guys like Caden McDonald and Tom Malone. I can't even believe that. By the way, I missed something on defense. Stop playing backup defensive lineman so early in the game, Larry Johnson. Stop doing that. Now let's get to my next point on the offense. When Bo has it going, you give him the ball. I mean in the likeliness, like in the likeness of what you did with Trey Sermon in the Northwestern game. Now, a lot of that had in the Big Ten Championship, a lot of that had to do with the fact that we couldn't pass the ball in that game for some odd reason. But we gave him the ball, man, because he had it going. Ryan Day kept doing it. I mean, Urban Meyer, way back when we had Zeke, he kept giving him the ball. When we had JK, you kept giving him the ball. Different scenarios, different situation there with JK, but still, you get the point. When you have the hot hand, you give him the ball, bro. Like, he had 17 carries for 83 yards on 4.9 per. I would have ran him through the ground in that game. You just can't do that. You got to give him the ball in these playoffs. And that's not to say that you move away from the pass game, but when you know you can use Bo, why stop? Why? Just keep giving the ball. Next, emphasize Brandon Ennis. Now, a lot of people, like rival people, like to make jokes about Brandon Ennis. He's been open all year. It's just that Julian doesn't look his way for some odd reason. There was a play in that game where Ennis had a wide open touchdown. He was gone. Hands were up, and the ball went out of bounds. Julian missed it. He missed it. So, I think I'm not gonna say BH right now because he's not there right now. Ryan Day clearly said it that they're gonna make the game plan before he gets there. So or start planning it. So if I was Ryan Day, you have to go and get him the ball. BI is always open. That's a fact. He's always open. So that's the last thing I got there. Oh, no, my last thing, move Jeremiah around. Put him in the slot. I think that wait, what? Aaron, what? Aaron, bro, you're crashing out right now, Aaron. You're crashing out. You're my guy, but you're crashing out. Sand has no dog eye fear. What tells you that? What tells you that? Let me ask you this: would you had the reason I don't like the whole dog thing is because how do you measure that? I don't know how you measure that, and that's my part right there, Alex Miller. Hard to be a dog when your O-line can't block. Boom. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that, Aaron. You're my guy. You always have great takes, but I don't know about that one. But yeah, you gotta move Jeremiah around, get him the ball in different areas outside of him being in the slot. I mean, on the boundary. He can do much more for this team. And I think that when you have him in the slot, you're making teams think more. With that being said, that means I also want to see Quincy Porter on the field. Now, I don't know what he is in pass blocking, but we don't need him for pass blocking. If he ain't pass blocking, bro, we got the three guys on the field that we need out there. So, bro, Aaron, Bro, he was pressured all game and still went 21 for 29 on 258 on 8.3 on 8.9 per. Oh, come Aaron, if I had guys in my face all day too, bro, I promise you I would do the same. I will get rid of the ball too, bro. That like bro, if you pressure any quarterback, Aaron, and I think you know this, if you pressure any quarterback, it's gonna speed them up throughout the game, right? So I don't know how else to say it, bro. Like I'm not saying defending Julian all the way. I literally critiqued him. By the way, we ran when we were in the red zone on third down, we ran a slant from Jeremiah. BI was going out to the flats. It was 3rd and 5, I believe. And he had him. He had Jeremiah. But the linebacker came off of BI and blitzed in. First off, Julian Sanders should have known that that guy was not about to cover BI. You're not going to do that, right? But he missed it. And he looked back to his right and ran out to his right and threw the ball out of bounds. Like I'm not saying that he can't be critiqued in this game, but what I'm not gonna do is say he has is do bro. Aaron, we're better than Michigan fans. What we're not about to do is go, oh, he has no dog in him. Oh, he's not tough enough. We're not doing that. We're better than that. So I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna push those narratives like that, bro. He's a damn good quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. But yeah. Oh, dang it, Aaron. Why'd you do that to me? You got me all heated, Aaron. You're my guy, but you know you're my guy though. But yeah, that's that, everybody. Again, things I want the defense to improve on. Start saying things I think they should do. Johnny, you can't tell me to not bring you guys up when you bring us up every show throughout the season. But yeah, start Sanchez on the boundary, put Maine at the slot, bring Lorenzo out in short yardage situations. Focus on your responsibilities. I brought up what Arvell Reese, what he did in that game on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. He should have been on the tight end. Focus on your responsibilities. Pressure, Matty P, we don't need to do it for our pass rush, but send some more blitzes, bro. Like either that or run some more stunts. We have to speed these guys up and not just use our bull rush because we have the better guys on the outside and the inside. On offense, start Gabe Van Sickle at right guard and pull Tegra out the game before we get somebody hurt. When Bo has it going, you give him the ball, emphasize Brandon Ennis some more, and move Jeremiah around. Yeah, all right, there we go. We got through all that right there. But yeah, I think the guys will be fine, bro. Like, I'm not here to sit here and say that this team is not in a good position. I think we are in a great position right now. It's just we have some minor things that we have to fix, and that we just minor things, minor tweaks that I think if we do these things, like Gabe Van Sickle starting at right guard, it can take us all the way. Like, if Tegra starts, do I still think we can win a national championship? Yes, but doggone it, it's gonna be much harder to do so. It's gonna be much harder to do so. But real quick, let's talk about some of these bowl games real quick, and then we're gonna end the show. Now I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this might be the lousiest bowl season I have ever seen in my life. Like, I mean, one of the lousiest. There aren't many games. Oh my God, Antonio, thank you for that. Give another kicker a look too. Jaden Fielding has been good this year. I think he missed one kick going into the game this Saturday, but that miss was egregious. Now the play call was even worse. To bring the on 4th and 1 to do that, bro, I would have rather you bring 5 wide out and let Julian find somebody. I much would have preferred that. But yeah, Antonio, you ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying. But let's talk about some of these bowl games real quick, man. I there are some that do interest me. There are not a lot of them, but I want to start with the Washington game. There, and by the way, I do have some of my picks for these games actually. And by the way, everybody, if you haven't already, definitely go ahead and check out Novig. You go on there, spend 50 or spend 5, get 50. Go there and claim now using the promo code BOCFBOSU. But you must be 21 or older to play. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But in this game, let's get to it here. Washington versus Boise State in the bucked up. And by the way, if you guys don't know what bucked up is, it's like they have energy. It's like energy drink. They have creatine, protein. It's great. They have a great. I'm not here to give them an ad, but it's a great product. Just want you guys know because I actually do use it. But bucked up LA Bowl. I have Washington winning this game. They're favored by 8.5. I think they're going to cover that. I think Washington can dog walk any group of 5 team. When it comes to better teams that have defenses like Ohio State, like Oregon, like the Wolverines, they can't compete. Not this year, at least. But yeah, I think they can cover that up. Also, Penn State versus Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. I'm gonna call this we were wrong bowl. We were all wrong. I thought Clemson was gonna win the national championship this season. A lot of Penn State people thought they were going to win the national championship this season. We were all wrong. Shout out to my guy Juju. He thought Clemson was going to be in the national championship this season. That was everybody was wrong all the way about them, both teams. But the over under is 48.5. On that, everybody, I am taking the under. So yeah, under 40.5 for the Penn State Clemson game of the Pinstripe Bowl. Next is the and by the way, these are all by with our friends over at FanDuel. That's where these numbers are coming from, these lines. Georgia Tech versus BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, one of the most underrated bowl games. The Pop-Tarts Bowl might be my favorite bowl game that's not in the playoff. I actually do love it. I love the atmosphere, honestly, in the halftime show. But Georgia Tech, they are, BYU is favored by 2.5 points. Give me Georgia Tech in this. I think Georgia Tech is going to play. I think they're going to play hard. They're going to try and send their quarterback out the right way, and I think they're going to do it. BYU's freshman quarterback, he's been good this season, but I think in this game he won't be good enough. Next, we have a Big Ten SEC matchup, and this is my favorite matchup in the bowl season. In the Reliant Quest Bowl, we have Iowa versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is the favorite in this game. I don't think they and I think it's made by 4.5 points, and I don't think they should be. But the over-under is 50.5. Give me the under. I don't believe in gimmick offenses when they go against great defenses or great schemes or great defensive coaches. And I think Iowa's going to get this game. But I'm not going to go money line. I'm going to go the plus 4.5. That's a little bit safer. So, yeah, Reliant Quest Bowl, Iowa, Vandy, under 15.5. And then give me the Iowa to cover the 4.5. Next, we have Tennessee, Illinois, another SEC Big Ten matchup in the Music City Bowl, another good bowl game that I like to watch. I'm taking the over under of 61. I'm taking the over 61.5. Both these teams can't play defense, but damn, they can move the ball. So I think most people that watch these two teams would agree with me on that. So yeah, give me Tennessee versus against Illinois, the Music City Bowl over 61.5. And then in the Citrus Bowl, shout out to Maze, shout out to Johnny, shout out to Juju. You got the Wolverines of Michigan versus the Longhorns of Texas. Of course, I think we all saw this game coming from a mile away. I think it's going to be really interesting because I want to see who sits out. Mind you, I don't think a lot of guys for the Wolverines are going to sit out. I think there's guys that have to play in this game. Doreen was going up, my friend. Glad to see you in here. But Texas might dog walk them. Like, and this is my reason why. It's got nothing to do with Arch Manning, because even though Arch Manning has been better this back half of the season, and dude, we talked not too long ago, maybe last week, and I said I would take Bryce over him. After that game I saw last week, I lied. I would take Arch over him right now. Arch is a better quarterback today, and he's a better runner. He's just better. He's just better than Bryce right now, flat out. But I can't trust Bryce Underwood against an elite defense. And though Anthony Hill Jr. isn't playing, they still got the talent on that team. And yeah, I think Texas is going to cover that 5.5. I thought 5.5 was pretty low. It wasn't. I don't think they put enough points on there. But maybe they want the line to change. Maybe they're trying to see how many people are going to bet that Texas to cover that. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, and real quick, this is the most important thing I want to talk about real quick. There's a big game going on this week, and it's one of my favorite games of the year. The Navy midshipmen will be playing the backpackers of Army. They suck. They are not us boys. They're not as tough as us. Semper Fortis. Honor, courage, commitment. These are the words that we live by in the United States Navy. You go out there and you win this game. You drag them into the deep depths of the water. I mean, fathoms. And if, for all those who don't know what a fathom is, a fathom is 90 feet. You drag them into the waters, and you kick the living shit out of them. They are not you. They have never been you. Sure, they might have some cool uniforms, and I won't lie that they go hard. I ain't gonna lie. Don't care. Don't care. It's Semper Fortis. It's navy blue and gold. What was it? Hey, navy colors, the colors of white, colors of blue to show the world that we are true. Navy colors, the colors of red to show them the blood we shed. Navy colors, the colors of white to show them we will fight. Navy by 1,000, everybody. Navy by 1,000. But again, appreciate you guys all for being here. Of course, if you haven't already, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel. Again, appreciate you all for being here tonight. This channel, this network is nothing without you. Of course, we're called the voice of college football, but that's you also. You guys are also the voice here. Be sure to catch up with Mike and myself tomorrow at 7:30 tomorrow here on the Ohio State Voice of College Football. On Wednesday at 11 p.m. actually. Check out Mark Rogers. And then, of course, at night that Wednesday, you can catch Mike and I at the late night show on Ohio State at Primetime. And then on Thursdays is your day to call and tell us what you thought, any thoughts you have from what happened this past Saturday, anything that you want the team to get better at. We're here for you. But as always, everybody, OH, IO.